Mel Stride, if it's good for the economy, if trade barriers are removed, which is something you're presumably in favour of, then you can get behind this deal.
Yeah, look, things that drive growth are, all else being equal, good. 9 billion in 2040, I've just worked out, it's about 0.3% of the size of the economy, so it's very small and we're going to have to wait a long time for it.
It's odd, isn't it, when the Daily Express heralded the Tories' trade deal with Australia in 2024 as a triumph, saying this: Ramona Doomongers wrong again as Brexit Britain thrives with Australian trade deal. Exclusive. New figures have revealed that Britain's Brexit trade deal with Australia has paid huge dividends in just 1 year, despite gloomy predictions. That's odd when the deal represented 0.08% of the economy. Why was that such an accomplishment when this isn't? Anyway, let's watch as Labour MP Stella Creasy grills Mel Mental Health Stride over the Tories' poor record in EU-UK trade relations.
I think let's talk about some cold hard facts about this, Mel, because under the deal that your government negotiated, exports plummeted by a third to Europe. Right now, we sell more to Europe than we do combined India, America, Indo-Pacific. You can fight many things in life, Mel. You can't fight geography. It really matters for British businesses to start reducing those barriers, including the whacking charges that your government introduced on the border to get things across the border. The amount of paperwork. Go down to Sevington. I think you will apologise to everybody who works in the logistics industry in this country. If this deal reduces or indeed eliminates the export health certificates, the paperwork that people have gone, that can only be good for growth. Well, Mel, let's talk about youth mobility.
Well, hang on, let Mel come back on that, because I want to also refer to this.
Here comes Mel's gotcha moment.
I think it was from 2022 when you yourself admitted Brexit created frictions in trade, says Work and Pension Secretary Mel Stride. So you must welcome frictionless, certainly.
No, the one doesn't necessarily follow from the other. And to Stella's point, the fact of the matter is dynamic alignment in this arrangement, which means rule-taking from Brussels without incidentally having a seat at the table to make the rules. Hold on. Does mean that when it comes to free trade agreements with other parts of the world, and we did the deal with the CPTPP, a very fast-growing area market, it makes it much, much harder if your hands are tied by having to follow EU rules. That was part of the rationale of stepping back from it.
Your government's obsession with being frightened of Europe, mate. You didn't even want to know if there was foot and mouth in France. You didn't even want to be part of the biosecurity alert.
Well, let him finish his point and I'll come back to you.
Finish my point.
Ultimately, when you trade with any country, you either align yourself with their particular standards or you lower your standards to allow trade with them. So, for example, we've just escaped accepting chlorinated chicken in our recent trade deal with America, but we might have to accept that requirement in future trade deals. The notion that having to align yourself with EU standards as some kind of hardship is ridiculous. Click here for more videos about crazy Brexit.